You know what time it is, and I hope this one lights a fire under some of your asses, because there's this idea floating around YouTube lately. And keep in mind that it's not always from a YouTube channel known as a guitar playing channel. Some of the time it's been from gear manufacturers. But it's this idea or this concept from these highly regarded gear manufacturers or guitar players that if you're not currently gigging, that the music you're making or the videos you're making aren't valid or aren't as valid as someone that is playing gigs. And when I try and get this concept to hold water, I'm taken back to the 1960s and to a band that created probably the most number ones of any band. They did very experimental things, and for the majority of the time they were doing these things, they weren't playing gigs. Of course, you know that band is the Beatles, and I think about, well, I have this YouTuber on one hand telling me that what I'm doing isn't valid because I'm not gigging. But then on the other hand, I have John Lennon and Paul McCartney showing me the evidence that great things can be done in the studio without gigging. And when I think about my own life, I'm a single father now who has my son 100% of the time. I'm interested in spending my time with him and creating here in my studio, not gigging. But I'm pretty damn confident from my past history as a musician that I can sit in with most any band in Louisville, Kentucky, where I am now, and hold my own on guitar, on bass, on drums, and make people shake their asses or forget about their day. So don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing isn't valid. If you're doing the work and making great sounds, even if you're not making great sounds yet, if you stick with it and work hard, you can get there. It's about doing the work. And don't let people tell you that your art isn't valid. And I want to break down that idea in this video about gatekeeping. I also want to talk about algorithms. I can show you some proof how they hold the smaller channels back. They cap videos at certain numbers, and I'm going to show you those numbers on my channel, how things have been scaled back, how things can be rolling along nicely on a new video, and then all of a sudden the views just stop because they've quit suggesting your video when the numbers weren't telling them to quit suggesting your video. That's the guitar solo from my new song. You should go check it out. I'm very proud of it. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to use that clip to illustrate through YouTube Studio what's going on with the YouTube algorithms and why my views are immediately getting cut off at a certain point. So for the past 10 YouTube shorts, now keep in mind this is just YouTube shorts, not long form videos. For the past 10 YouTube shorts that I've put out, my views have got cut off in between 500 and 600 views, usually right around 550, sometimes a little less than that, but always over 500, but less than 6. And this immediately didn't draw my concern for the first 3 or 4 of those YouTube shorts because it was taking me 8 to 10 hours to get those 500 views, so it wasn't an immediate decline in views. But for the past 2 YouTube shorts, which were that guitar solo and a video I did a while back on Keith Richards, but I just made a short of it Friday. Those 2 videos both got 500 views in 2 hours and immediately stopped, went from like 520 to nothing. And if you know anything about YouTube, if you've made any videos, that's a good amount of views I consider my videos doing well if they get 500 views in 2 hours. I'm a smaller creator. I've only got right around 300 subs. So that's pretty quick on the clicks for me. And it just doesn't happen where your views immediately drop off like that, unless the algorithm's doing something to stop suggesting your videos, which something is happening there. So does it even matter? Does it matter that YouTube isn't suggesting your videos in a consistent way? Does it matter that some of these YouTube creators or other creators might not see your music or your content as valid if you're not gigging? Does networking matter? But before we get into those topics, I want to mention to you that my numbers show that less than 50% of the people that watch this channel are subscribed. So if you dig music production content, enjoy these type of videos, I do gear videos as well, and I release music, a lot of which I post on here. If you like that type of content, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and also leave me a comment. Tell me what type of content you make, what type of music you make. Do you stream your music? I'm really interested in building a community here and hearing your feedback. The first thing I want to talk about is constructive criticism, because it's huge in making you become a better mixer, a better musician. Sometimes you're in deep on a project. You've been recording it for a week, maybe longer, and now you're mixing it, and you've listened to it hundreds of times possibly, and you can't hear things that maybe other people can hear very clearly in your music. You're just too close to it. You need to be able to take constructive criticism to do anything that's going to be released to the public. It's just important. But what these YouTubers are saying that are talking about gigging matters so much that your music isn't even valid if you're not gigging, that's not constructive at all. Matter of fact, a lot of times I've noticed these people that are saying this, in some cases, aren't creating themselves. They've got businesses or other things they're promoting. Maybe they wish they could be creating music in the studio like you're doing, or making videos like you're doing. They're trying to rationalize to themselves what they're doing and how their work is valid in comparison with yours. Also, the algorithm is important if you're interested in growing your channel, sure. But the main thing that you need to be interested in is that people will follow along if what you're doing is true to you. People want honesty and they want things to be valid. And if you're working hard, I'm in this studio every night. And if you're in your studio every night or playing your instrument every day, every night, always have it in your hands, you're constantly progressing. That's what matters. Let that make you happy and let that direct you. You can't make any art for anyone other than yourself. And you have to trust in yourself that your process will guide you to the right places. It's huge. Nothing revolutionary or important has ever happened because you were going in a direction that you thought people wanted you to go, or that an artist went in a direction that was popular at the time. Anything that's really made a mark has been totally original, or took elements from things from the past and took it in a completely new direction. This is huge. This is what you need to be concerned about, and let that give you your fulfillment. And once you reach that place, I have to believe that other people will get on board, and the music, the videos, whatever you're doing will just come to light. It will cut through all the bullshit and take the art itself to a higher place. Remember that. It's important to do this because it fulfills something inside of you and makes you happy. That's what art, music, anything creative is about.